The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show,
presented by Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours
on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
From the Jamborees to the Superdome,
Your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Good evening and welcome to the Week 3 edition of the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. Producing the program tonight, Taylor Sharp, Ryan Kennedy. We got Skip gathering scores behind the scenes, Charlie helping out as always, and we appreciate you tuning in on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, and very soon our audience on your view as Catholic High and U High has gone final, and the Bears improved to 2-1 on the season. A couple of headlines as we get started with tonight. Probably noted by a huge win for St. Aug on the road over in Zachary. We got a shootout with Newman and Benton. Dutchtown getting on the board in a good way. Lots to get to, lots of excitement here in Week 3.
Woo-hoo! You see, we're still running a little behind here. Internet's messing with us, Cade.
It's been doing it all night, even at the ball field.
Ooh, Destrehan had a good one.
Tough night for Coach Lee.
Yeah, you know, that's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a learning game because, you know, you're coming off a big win like that, Jimmy, at West Monroe. You're feeling pretty good, but Coach Lee didn't give them time to rest because they're going to turn back around and play a very, very good Destrehan team. And Destrehan was up early and stayed on top.
42-0 at half. I think it ended up 42-0 at half. It ended up 42-2. So it's only a learning experience for Coach Lee and East Ascension. You in the playoffs, you're going to play big games, and you got to learn to put that one behind you and go to the next one. It's probably the biggest win EA's had in many years, I would think. I know they beat Zachary about 4 or 5 years ago, but other than that, they're not used to winning those type of games. But hey, they'll learn from it. They'll get better and move on. But you look at their schedule. They played number 1 Zachary. They played number 8 West Monroe, and now number 3 Destrehan. Good chance Destrehan will move into the number 1 spot this week with the loss with Zachary's loss. Also, another loss, St. Charles losing tonight to Turlings in another good game, 28-22 or 28-23, something like that.
Look, and Turlings is a good team this year, and you know St. Charles, what they've won, 13 games in a row. 13. That
was the 2 longest win streaks in the state. Went down tonight. 17 games for Zachary and 13 for St. Charles.
So if you guys say the biggest improvement is from week 1 to week 2, what's the measuring stick in week 3? You should have it being close to being figured out.
I'll tell you, for a team like Dutchtown,
yeah,
it was massive, you know. And I think for Neville too to go to Huntington because now they're in a weak 4A district,
right?
And they got pushed into 5A, and so they needed to get these power points. So, you know, you're starting to jockey a little bit depending on your situation and depending on your district.
Every game. Every game becomes important.
Look, that's
for
Jimmy's
Neville.
pissed off laugh.
Every game becomes important for somebody like Neville, just because of the shrinking brackets going from 32 to 28.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like Todd mentioned, they're arguably one of the weakest districts that's going to be in Class 4A or 5A, however you want to term it now.
We were talking with some fans out of the ball game tonight at Memorial. You know, for U High, a team going down to Division III. So playing a Catholic High of Baton Rouge, you're going to go through some other games. When you get into the postseason, you know, it's likely you're seeing competition right now that is tough to duplicate later on when you get into that Division III bracket. So what can you do in comparison here? What can you learn from a game like this with a team that's pretty young as they continue to grow? Could pay off down the road.
U High was banged up last week. Still this isn't Coach Martin. This is no excuse. I'm just telling you the facts. He would never use it as an excuse.
No.
But they've been banged up in playing those tough opponents like that. You wonder sometimes if it hurts teams like U-High, EA, etc.
3 5A games in a row with Woodlawn, Rummel, and Catholic, and all of them are really good 5A teams. They're no slouch. So last week they had 6 starters out. Tonight they had 3 starters out. 2 other ones were game-time decisions. They're playing 3 sophomores on the offensive line. 7 or 8 sophomore and freshmen are starting combined for them. I honestly think that if you told I can't say that. If you want to look at it realistically from our side, I think that Coach Martin would have expected to win all 3 or would hope to win all 3. But when you look at it realistically, 1 and 2 in those 3 games where all of them were competitive, a 3-point loss to Rummel last week, a 10-point loss tonight to a really good Catholic High team, I would have to think you'd look back at it and you say, we're okay.
Because he's going to talk about missed opportunities.
This could have been a different ball game.
Well, it could have. There was a punt that got loose at midfield that they were on that they should have had. They got a bobbled punt at the 14-yard line. And early on, they used what we call a polecat kind of. Was it polecat, more or less, kind of?
Similar to it, yeah.
And they had some opportunities for big plays. And it's hard for a kid just to snap the ball if it's something they hadn't gone over, but one of the receivers weren't covered. But they've just missed opportunities, a lot of opportunities in that game.
Yeah, one thing I want to look at and see at Catholic High, if they improved from a rushing standpoint and what they've given up the last couple of weeks, and it seemed like they did considerably over the last couple of weeks. They've given up more in the first half than most teams do in a game, and so they seem to toughen up a little bit. Not say toughen up. They seem to kind of buckle down a little bit and were able to stop that rushing attack. So,
and now let's remember also, though, there are 2 games where a team out of good canceled out of Maryland and Warren Easton, which are 2 really good teams. So I don't think U-High's at the level of those other 2 teams, so their competition, not that U-High is bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it was down a little bit. So how good one question becomes is, was it the other teams are just that good? And time will answer that question.
Let's go ahead and take a look at our first scoreboard of the night. Remember, if you're watching on your View or the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, there's a ticker at the bottom of the screen. It'll give you every score from tonight's and last night's Week 3 action. But we'll get you highlighted a couple of games from each region. We'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Catholic High over U-High 31-21. Destrehan all over East Ascension 42-2. St. Aug 24, Zachary 20. Woodlawn 40, GW Carver 14. Episcopal 49-20 win over Country Day. Ascension Catholic 23, Hannon 19. Catholic Point Capee 54, Independence 12. And Scotlandville 37, Madison Prep 6.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Southside 49, Carencro 23, Avoyles 50, Eunice 28, Leesville 30, Iowa 14, Grand Lake and Pickering still in progress. Brother Martin and St. Thomas More also still in progress. Turling's a 28-22 winner over St. Charles. Notre Dame 34, Como 14, and Lake Charles College Prep and Opelousas still in progress.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Warren Easton and Carr will be played Saturday. Live Oak 41, Bonneville 7. Benton and Newman, high scoring still in progress. Hammond and South Terrebonne still in progress. Rummel over Shaw 31-12. Berwick 40, Franklin 22. McDonough 35 shuts out McMain 47-0. And Centerville and Thomas Jefferson will be on Saturday.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Westgate and Evangel still in progress. Neville over Huntington 49-12. Oak Grove 52, Sterlington 20. Captain Shreve 31, Union Parish 21. Homer and General Trask still in progress. Manny over Houghton 35-3. St. Frederick defeats Gina 26-20. And Northwood Shreveport 38, Airline 28.
The North Shore Scoreboard. Restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Amite over St. Helena 27-6. Dutchtown 35, Covington 14. Hanville 17, North Shore 10. Bogalusa and Salmon still in progress. Pearl River and Pine still in progress. Slidell blanks Central 48-0. Fontainebleau 23, Franklinton 6. And Ponchatoula 23, St. Thomas Aquinas 8.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event.
and we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast
Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 3 edition of the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy as we roll into another week. Another chance to talk to some victorious head coaches, and we jump on the Cardinal Financial Hotline, and we have head coach of the Destrehan Wildcats, Marcus Scott, joining us. Coach, thanks so much for your time tonight, and congratulations on the big win against East Ascension.
Thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate you guys having us on.
Coach, you got off the bus scoring, it seems. We didn't get to see it, but we knew that you guys were in control early. Give us a little bit of an idea how the flow of the game went early.
Well, we hit a big pass on third down to start the scoring off, and then, we made a stop, and then we got it back and scored again. So those two plays were huge, and basically had a big say-so in the outcome of the ball game.
Coach, talk about your offense a little bit. Shane Lee back at running back. He's been splitting some time with Brandon Freeman. Limited carries in the first two games, which is always good, and a couple easy wins over Bonneville and John Ehret. And then your development of Jai Eugene at quarterback and how he's progressed over the 3 years he's been starting.
Sure. Well, Shane is the headliner of that running back group, but we actually play four backs. And Jai worked extremely hard in the offseason to get better as a passer. We know what he can do in the open field with his legs. And so if we can keep the box light, be able to get people to make a decision whether they're going to play a 7-man box, then they can give us a run, or if they want to be an 8-man box, then we have to make them pay in the air. So he worked hard in the offseason to get better at those things.
Yeah. Coach, you have Hahnville next week, right?
Correct.
Okay.
They seem to be getting better each week. They beat a good North Shore team tonight.
They did beat North Shore. Huge rival game like that. We were talking about East Ascension coming off of their big win over West Monroe last week, and they're a program that's up and coming. Coach Lee, we think, has done a fabulous job over there and is continuing to do it. But a program like that may not be as used to winning and then a big game and then having to turn around and play another really good opponent back-to-back weeks, where Destrehan's semifinal team, final team just about every year. More seasoned, and your team's used to it. Just talk a little bit about how you keep your guys focused on EA this week. I know watching film will get you focused really quick, but then also with Hahnville, a big rival game coming up. How do you handle those two, balance that?
Well, we knew that Coach Lee does a great job. Coach Darnell and I played in the same secondary at McNeese, so I knew, what type of preparation those guys were going to have for their ball club, and so we had to come out and be focused on the fundamentals and playing fast and being physical. And we cannot afford to look ahead to Hahnville, because once we put the film on of East Ascension, we saw how talented they were and the size of their fronts, offensively and defensively. So we really had our hands full, and we had to give them our undivided attention.
3 games, you've given up 8 points. Tell us about your defense.
Yeah, the kids were upset about the safety tonight, but those things happen.
I hear you.
Those things happen, but the defense is playing well. The coaching staff on both sides of the ball has done a really good job of keeping the kids focused and hungry to come out and perform each and every week. And so it's no different whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. The focus has to be there. And, again, the assistant coaches do a good job of keeping the kids grounded.
We're with Coach Marcus Scott of Destrehan. His team, a 42-2 winner tonight over East Ascension. Coach, my question is going to be, you guys have been getting deep in the playoffs. What do you think you've got to improve on to be the best your team can be come Week 11?
We have to continue to be balanced on offense. being able to take what the defense gives us, be able to pass the ball effectively when we have to, and be able to run it when we need to. And so if we can do that and be sound on defense and the kicking game, we like our chances. But, it's a long season, and we cannot afford to look ahead. And, the playoffs and all that will take care of itself. We have to take it one at a time and continue to get better.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time tonight. Congratulations on that win, and best of luck as you guys continue in the 2022 season.
Safe travels.
Good. Thank you very much. Good night.
I don't think he'll take much time to celebrate this win, because you turn around and next week you got Hahnville. So,
well, we've told you before. I mean, I usually on Friday be on the phone with him at 2 a.m, and we ain't talking about the game we just played. We're talking about what's coming up next week, and you really don't. You don't rest until the end of the season. And Coach Scott came over from John Ehret, Jimmy, and he's just really taken what Coach I was going to say Thibodeau is that was Rope. Gosh dog it! I'm sorry, Stephen Robichaux. All right, yeah. I'm an idiot sometimes, but anyway. But he's
Coach
taken
Lee,
and compounded off of
Coach
it. Coach Scott's done a good job.
He did a really good job at John Ehret. Took those guys to the state championship, semifinals another year, I believe it was. Really good team.
Yeah, it was 2017. They had beaten was Live Oak out in the quarters.
I think that's who Zachary beat in the championship the first time they won.
Well, at John Ehret, you remember EA had him wrapped up, and he got loose and threw the bomb there late.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
they had some wild games going on. We're going to get a little update in a little while, but Newman was down big. I think like 34-12 at the half to Benton, and came back and just won 54-52. They said Arch Manning just absolutely lit it up in the second half. We'll try to find out a little bit more.
What was the score?
54-52.
Where did they come back from?
34-12 at half.
Nice. That game with Manny's matching up to be good. Manny had a good game tonight versus Houghton. Big win.
So is that next week, I believe, with Newman?
I
Or 2
think
weeks.
so.
I think it is next week.
Okay. Well, either way, let's get caught up on scores. We got a full scoreboard coming to you. If you missed anything, don't forget at the bottom of the screen on YouTube, 104.5 ESPN's YouTube channel, and on your view, you've got a full scoreboard for you throughout the night. We're highlighting games in each region, and we'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Catholic High defeats U High 31-21. Destrehan a 42-2 win over East Ascension. St. Aug 24, Zachary 20. Woodlawn 40, GW Carver 14. Episcopal 49, Country Day 20. Ascension Catholic 23, Archbishop Hannon 19. Catholic Point Compete 54, Independence 12. And Scotlandville 37, Madison Prep 6.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Southside 49, Carencro 23. Avoyelles a 50-28 winner over Eunice. Leesville over Iowa 30-14. Grand Lake 66, Pickering 33. St. Thomas More a 30-16 winner over Brother Martin. Turlings over St. Charles 28-22. Notre Dame 34, Ove Como 14. Opelousas 21, Lake Charles College Prep 0.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
And Carl play tomorrow night. Live Oak 41, Bonneville 7. Newman 54, Benton 52. Hammond 38, South Terrebonne 35. Rummel a 31-12 winner over Shaw. Berwick 40, Franklin 22. McDonough 35-47, McMain 0. And Centerville and Thomas Jefferson will play tomorrow.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Skate over Evangel 37-21. Neville 49, Huntington 12. Oak Grove 52, Sterlington 20. Captain Shreve 31, Union Parish 21. Homer beats General Trask 49-24. Manny all over Haughton 35-3. St. Frederick gets by Gina 26-20. And Northwood Shreveport 35, Airline 28.
The North Shore Scoreboard. Restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Amite defeats St. Helena 27-6. Dutchtown over Covington 35-14. Huntville a 17-10 winner over North Shore. Salmon 22, Bogalusa 14. Pine a touchdown better than Pearl River 28-21. Slidell shuts out Central 48-0. Fontainebleau 23, Franklinton 6. And Ponchatoula 23, St. Thomas Aquinas 8.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy, our cast of thousands, helping us through tonight's show. Going ahead and jump on the Cardinal Financial Hotline again, and we're speaking with another victorious head coach from Catholic High, Coach David Simoneaux, coming off the win against the U-High Cubs over at Memorial tonight is our walk-ons game of the week. Coach, congratulations on the win tonight. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Coach, your defense early on got put to a test. U-High put together a great drive, but there you guys made some adjustments and really held them at bay until your offense got going, and it got going pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the count was. I think I heard 19 plays on that drive. Got them in some third down situations that I thought we were in great spots to get off the field and just didn't. So we got to make those plays to get off the field. We're still growing up back there, but I thought we settled in and played well down the stretch.
David, I thought the turning point really came late in the first half. U-High took advantage of a bad snap, got the ball at the +12. You were able to hold them to a field goal attempt, which you blocked. It went on to score on a 43-yard pass play to Sampson with about 33 seconds left in the half to take a 17-7 lead. Talk about that drive.
Well, man, I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but the snap was perfect. We just didn't catch it, and, it was just bad ball on that deal. Got to clean that up, but defense stiffened their neck right there, man. Just got a great stop, and they really played well with their backs up against the wall this year, and I'm proud of their grit and perseverance in those situations. And then to be able to put that 2-minute drive together, was huge. And tempo was good for us, right there at the end, and then we continued it on in the third quarter with some empty personnel stuff. And I can't say enough about what Daniel Beal's doing with his decision making.
He looks like he's really making good decisions, along with throwing the ball a lot better than in the past couple of years. But as he grows up, you would expect that, right?
Absolutely, man. I mean, he was such a pup these last couple of years, and was still making great decisions and willing us to victory, and now he just sees the field well. And, we give him so much autonomy at the line of scrimmage that, a lot of times when we're in our run packages and have run calls out there, he's just making calls to the receivers as what he wants them to run.
Have 6 catches, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. One thing I noticed about what you were doing with him, y'all put him to the boundary.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is something y'all do all the time, or this was a game plan thing to get the matchup that you wanted. Is that something y'all normally do, or that was special for tonight?
Well, we do keep him to the boundary a lot, and obviously we have the formation tags that we can get him where we need to because he's that type of guy. But Coach Morris has done a great job. Zach Morris, our offensive coordinator, has done an awesome job of designing, just ways to get the ball in his hands. And a lot of that is, either by putting him in the boundary where he's close to the quarterback, or putting him in abnormal spots to be able to get him the ball easily.
David, when we were coaching at Redemptorist, I was always concerned. I said, man, the pressure's on. And Guy said, if you're ever in doubt, run Jeremy behind Lyle. Well, if Beal's ever in doubt, throw it up to 6, right?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And look, man, hats off to Andy and them. I mean, I think we rushed for 119 yards. I think our back had 22 for 72 or something like that. I mean, we were trying to establish the run, and really got slow there in the end of the third and going to the fourth when we had a decent cushion. 17 points or so. We couldn't establish the run game. They got some good players in there. Number 43 is a unsung hero of that defense. I don't know his last name. He's a really good player, and Osbury's a stud. They got the freshman nose and just a very active front.
That guy's name is
Harry. Is it Beecham?
Beecham. Yep. Harry Beecham. And look, he's only a junior. U-High's young, and I thought it was a hard played game, both sides. Well coached, both sides. Officials kind of questionable a lot of calls. I thought they missed several of them, but that's human being mistakes. David, earlier in the year when I talked to you after the Jamboree, one of the things you mentioned that you weren't satisfied with your inside run game, but you were with the outside. Has the inside run game improved for you?
Man, it was kind of feast or famine tonight. I was glad that we popped some on that last series. you know. So we got to get better there, man. I mean, we had some 3rd and 2s that we didn't get, you know, and that's just something that we've always hung our hat on. And that's an area that I look to continue to improve upon.
So I want to ask you this before we let you go. I'm going to back you up to week 1. Taking a trip that far and doing what you did, what did that tell you about your team, or what did that tell you?
They played here.
Did they? Where was that?
Yeah, they came to us.
That was last year they went.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this, man. I mean, you look at those guys on film, and they were much improved from the year before. And we knew we were young, you know, defensively in particular. And you kind of were holding your breath when you stepped on the field, like, man, we're going to be able to play with these dudes. Man, I was just so proud of how we battled against those guys, and for not playing a clean game. You know, they kicked a field goal with time expiring to beat us. So, you know, our kids are up to the task, and you know, they want to get in those fist fights. You know, we got to keep growing up each week. And man, this schedule that we're playing, I don't know what STM did tonight, but
they won.
I know they're going to give us I know they're going to give us a heck of a test next week too. And then we picked up a really strong opponent, Carver, out of Montgomery, Alabama. That's got several SEC prospects and stuff for week 5. So if we stay healthy, man, we're going to be battle tested by the time we get into the district game.
Are you going to Montgomery?
No, they're coming to us. Thank God.
I was going to bail it myself out and say that's what I was thinking about.
That game, that game's actually going to be played at Southern, I believe, at Mumford Stadium, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
David, 30 to 16, St. Thomas More over Brother Martin.
Okay. Wow. Impressive win, man.
Right. Well, Coach, congratulations, man, and thank you for taking up a little bit of time. Go enjoy it tonight.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good night.
Right.
Later.
You know, Cade, these days, my mind, I just can't remember freaking nothing. I mean, seriously. I thought
you were at Dutchtown that night.
Oh, were you at the game?
Yeah,
we were at the game for about a half.
Me and Cade were
when the lightning and the rain, right?
Yeah, we stayed about 8 o'clock and then never had started. And we came on back to the studio.
Somebody asked me tonight on the sideline, said, "Where were you last week?" I couldn't answer it, and I really remembered Zachary.
Hey, before we get to break, I want to highlight a member of the U High Cubs, who happens to be our State Farm Student Athlete of the Week. Holden Fox had a chance to speak with some U High supporters before the game, and his father, a proud support staff of the U High Cubs, and Holden Fox stands out for that Cubs and football team for Coach Andy Martin.
Yeah, Holden Fox, U High, two-year starter, strong safety, has a 4.3 GPA, 25 on his ACT. Last year, 71 tackles, 7 sacks, 7 tackles for losses, 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, and a defensive touchdown. He's a 2-sport athlete, plays outfield for the baseball team. And one of the things that Coach Martin had talked about when I called him earlier in the week to nominate someone, he overcame 2 knee surgeries in this past offseason.
Wow. 2
surgeries. And just the hard work that he's put in, Coach Martin couldn't have enough good things to say about him, bragged on him. We saw Dr. Bankston on the sideline from Brock, so we know he's getting the best care that he can. But for a kid to overcome not 1 but 2 injuries, knee surgeries, to get back for his senior year, what a job.
And thanks again to the team over at State Farm.
Yeah, Brian Moe and
on the sideline,
and Drew Dillio were on the sidelines tonight. Got to speak to Brian for a little bit. Drew was on the other side, but it was good seeing them out there.
They are proud supporters of our Student Athlete of the Week. And speaking of student athletes, as we go to break, we're featuring student sections throughout the season. There was no shortage of fans. Both sides were pretty packed, especially the Catholic High Bears side, and they are cheering, taking us to break here on this Week 3 edition of the Lake After Hours Lake Urgent Care Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jdacody.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports.
Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. The Capital City Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Catholic High defeats U High tonight 31-21. Destrehan a 42-2 winner over East Ascension. St. Aug 24, Zachary 20. Woodlawn of Baton Rouge 40, George Washington Carver 14. Episcopal 49-20 winner over Country Day. Ascension Catholic defeats Hannon 23-19. Catholic Point Capee all over Independence 54-12. And Scotlandville 37, Madison Prep 6.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Southside a 49-23 winner over Carencro. Avoyelles 50, Eunice 28. Leesville takes down Iowa 30-14. Grand Lake 66, Pickering 33. St. Thomas More 30, Brother Martin 16. Turlings defeats St. Charles 28-22. Notre Dame over Como 34-14. And Opelousas shuts out Lake Charles College Prep 21-0.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Warren Easton and Carr will be tomorrow night. Live Oak 41, Bonneville 7. Newman and a high score 54-52 over Benton. Hammond 38, South Terrebonne 35, Archbishop Brummel 31, Archbishop Shaw 12, Berwick 40, Franklin 22, McDonough 35 shuts out McMain 47-0, and Centerville and Thomas Jefferson tomorrow.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Defeats Evangel 37-21, Neville over Huntington 49-12, Oak Grove all over Sterlington 52-20, Captain Shreve 31, Union Parish 21, Homer all over General Trask 49-24, Manny defeats Houghton 35-3, St. Frederick defeats Gina 26-20, and Northwood Shreveport 35, Airline 28.
The North Shore Scoreboard, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Amite defeats St. Helena 27-6, Dutchtown over Covington 35-14, Hanville 17-10 over North Shore, Salmon 22, Bogalusa 14, Pine 28, Pearl River 21, Slidell blanks Central 48-0, Fontainebleau 23, Franklinton 6, and Ponchatoula 23, St. Thomas Aquinas 8.
Thank you, Skip, and thanks for everyone tuning in tonight. You can also follow the scores that are posted on our Twitter account. It's at Louisiana Prep, and you can find all the scores tonight if you're watching on YouTube or on YourView. On the bottom of the screen, we have our ticker with the full scoreboard. We'll be highlighting a couple, as you heard Skip read, from regions around the state throughout the night. Let's go ahead and jump back on let's go ahead and jump back on the Cardinal Financial Hotline. We join a victorious head coach from Dutchtown, Coach Guy Mistretta, getting the win tonight. Coach, thanks so much for spending a couple minutes with us. Congratulations on that win.
Coach Guy. Coach Mistretta.
Hey, how y'all
man.
doing?
Hey, congratulations, man, on your big win.
I appreciate it, man, and we really needed it.
You know, I really like what Coach Janis is doing, man. He's really trying to get things generated any way he can. And tonight, A.K. Burrell came through big for you, but you know, he's got to have people blocking for him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we don't have that bell cow we've had the last few years, obviously. So we've got to spread it around. A lot of the things that we did tonight were things that we had wanted to do the last 2 weeks. But we had a couple of different circumstances that kept us from getting that done. You know, it just, you guys know how it is. It's early in the year and you're developing, you're coming up with that identity, figuring things out, who can do what, and getting rotations and the whole bit. So I thought it all really came through for us tonight, and up front on both sides of the ball. We talked about it all week that they would, you know, we could win it up front. And especially in the second half, I thought that's what happened.
How big of a win was this for your junior quarterback, Ethan Oakland?
It was big, you know. So he struggled the last couple of weeks, but our entire offense did, you know. And again, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't, you know, anyone in particular. It was a couple of different circumstances. You know, last week, I can tell you, Coach Willie over at Ponchatoula probably tell you the same thing, you know. They struggled in that soup bowl we were playing in as well. So there's not a whole lot you can do in those situations. So yeah, you know, after a while, it's human nature. You start doubting yourself. Mm-hmm. So tonight was just huge for him, both running and passing. I think you'll like what you see when you get to see the video.
Todd and I figured y'all just ran 22 Blackbird a little bit more tonight.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's always the go-to.
Did y'all make any schematic changes as far as scheme and blocking or anything, or you just stuck with what you're doing and just told you guys, hey, trust us, trust the process, and trust what we're telling you, and it's going to come out okay?
Well, we changed some things. You know, getting the ball out quicker is, you know, y'all know how it is. That's always, you know, the first go-to when you're struggling in the passing game. But it was something we weren't able to do last week because of the conditions. Another thing we did is we got more personnel on the field. We've got some playmakers that we took from the defensive side of the ball, and they played really well and did well. AK had his biggest night for us offensively, the most touches he's had, and Caden Mackey as well. Those are two guys that are going to play college ball on the defensive side, but they're playmakers, so we needed to get them involved.
Well, look, Todd's sitting over here nudging me, telling me not to ask you anything about the defense just to aggravate you, but your defense has been lights out all year. They've only given up 11.5 coming into tonight, and another good night for those guys.
They really have. They're playing really well on that side of the ball. They have an energy about them. They play well together. They understand the scheme. Coach Harold does a fantastic job with them. We gave up a couple big runs tonight, which was surprising because we've been really, really good against the run up until this point. And it was only 2 plays, but you know how it is. It's 2 plays that'll haunt us all week.
Yeah, but now let's give Covington some credit. They had 2 backs averaging over 120 yards a game. Right. So Covington wasn't no slouch coming in. No, and that's what they do.
We've played those guys now 5 times, and it's always a struggle. We pulled away here in the second half today, but I mean it was 30 seconds to halftime. We were tied 14-14, and we punched one in right before the break. So it's Greg does a great job over there. It's just hard-nosed kids that play their butts off, and it's always a great challenge.
Well, Coach, we got to go to a break, but we appreciate you coming on. And, man, look, go enjoy this one. I know you've been wanting it bad. It's a big night for Dutchtown Griffins. And
congratulations,
yes,
man.
Congratulations.
We appreciate it, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Thank y'all.
There you go, head coach of the Dutchtown Griffins, Coach Guy Mistretta. And, look, it all starts with everything starts with a win as far as a streak goes. And you go on the road, you do it. Impressive. Your defense gives up 14 in the first half, and as you mentioned, shut them out in the second half, and you go out and put out a 35-14 victory.
So they're on the bus listening. I told them I'd give them a shout-out. Congratulations, guys. Good job. He talked about good football players. They're also good kids.
Yeah, and Westside won 45-22 over Clark High in overtime.
We had a picture of Coach Josh in practice earlier this week. Maybe we can share that later. This is Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
Mom, what's for breakfast?
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Good evening. It's hour 2 inside week 3 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy. We got Skip, we got Taylor, we got Ryan getting us through this week's show. And coming up in just a couple of minutes, Lafayette Christian victorious tonight over Jesuit, and their head coach Trev Falk will join us to break down that matchup and what's ahead for Lafayette Christian and the Knights. But first, we'll get you caught up on the scores, and we'll start first here in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Catholic High Baton Rouge defeats U High 31-21. Destrehan a 42-2 win over East Ascension. St. Aug 24, Zachary 20. Woodlawn of Baton Rouge 40, George Washington Carver 14. Episcopal a 49-20 winner over Country Day. Ascension Catholic 23, Archbishop Hannon 19. Catholic Point Capee 54, Independence 12. And Scotlandville defeats Madison Prep 37-6.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Southside over Karen Crow 49-23. Avoyles 50, Eunice 28. Leesville over Iowa 30-14. Grand Lake 66, Pickering 33. St. Thomas More defeats Brother Martin 30-16. Turlings 28. St. Charles Catholic 22. Notre Dame over Ove Como 34-14. And Opelousas shuts out Lake Charles College Prep 21-0.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Warren Easton Card tomorrow night. Live Oak 41, Bonneville 7. Newman 54, Benton 52. Hammond 38, South Terrebonne 35. Archbishop Rummel 31, Archbishop Shaw 12. Berwick, a 40-22 winner over Franklin. McDonough 35 blanks McMain 47-0. And Centerville and Thomas Jefferson Saturday.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Westgate over Evangel 37-21. Neville 49. Huntington 12. Oak Grove 52. Sterlington 20. Captain Shreve over Union Parish 31-21. Homer all over General Trask 49-24. Manny over Houghton 35-3. St. Frederick's touchdown better than Gina 26-20. And Northwood Shreveport 35, Airline 28.
The North Shore Scoreboard, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Amite a 27-6 winner over St. Helena. Dutchtown 35, Covington 14. Hanville 17-10 winner over North Shore. Salmon 22, Bogalusa 14. Pine 28, Pearl River 21. Slidell shuts out Central 48-0. Fontainebleau 23, Franklinton 6. And Ponchatoula 23, St. Thomas Aquinas 8.
Thank you, Skip. And for anything you missed on the scoreboard tonight, if you're looking for a particular game, you can follow the ticker at the bottom of the screen on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, as well as if you're watching on your view. And you can follow what we do on Twitter at Louisiana Prep, at Louisiana Prep, at Louisiana Prep on Twitter. We'll go ahead and jump back on the Cardinal Financial Hotline, and we join a victorious head coach, Trev Falk, as Lafayette Christian gets the win over Jesuit tonight. Congratulations, Coach, and thank you for a couple of minutes here on the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Coach, 3 big wins to start off the season, beating Acadiana week 1, big rival game, Crosstown just started about 4 years ago now. You come off with a win last week against Woodlawn and Jesuit. Very tough schedule to open the season. How do you feel so far with the progress you've made?
We're definitely making progress in the right direction. We feel like iron sharpens iron, and playing against other good programs, so it does nothing but help us to get better. And we're growing as a coaching staff. We're growing as a team, as a program. Our players are growing and getting better. So we're excited about what the season holds in the future for us.
Well, you're taking the week off next week by playing Ruston. Who made the schedule, Coach? I hear you, iron sharpens iron, but at some point, at some point you say, man, what did I do?
Well, I've had, especially coming into the season, a lot of people looked at me sideways and kind of questioned my sanity a little bit when they looked at our schedule, not only the non-district schedule, but moving up into one of the tougher districts in the state and in Class 4 in the district that we're playing. And so, yeah, I mean, it's challenging, but the good thing is you don't have to worry about trying to create a narrative or create any type of external motivation for your kids, because each and every week they turn the film on and they see really good players, really good teams, really good programs. And so it's motivating to go to work every week.
Coach, you played St. Martinville in your scrimmage, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, St. Martinville, then you played Zachary in your jamboree. And let's say that one didn't go well for you, and St. Martinville game, you weren't at your best, you were sluggish. What's the difference between that, man? You had to be sandbagging on us, huh?
No, sir, not at all. And like I said, that's kind of one of the benefits to playing against really good programs is you really find out about yourself. You kind of get some things, some areas of growth exposed a little bit, and we're thankful to be able to scrimmage St. Martinville the last several years and play Zachary in the jamboree and really kind of work out some kinks and try to build some momentum and some confidence and learn about some of the things that we need to work on. So we've been fortunate to get 3 really good wins to start the season off against really good teams, really good programs, and so we're going to try to continue to build from there.
Coach, how do you use your playing experience in your coaching philosophy?
Really, it's fortunate to be around a lot of really good coaches. And, So just kind of understanding the ebbs and flows of the game, the ebbs and flows of the season, and just understanding that it's a marathon and just focusing on doing your best each and every day to try to improve and putting together good days, which turn into good weeks, which turns into good months, and which for us, fortunately, have turned into some really good seasons. And so I've been exposed to high-level football, to football at its highest levels, and it's a blessing just to kind of be able to share some of those things with our kids.
Everybody, Coach, knows about Jujuan Johnson, your quarterback, heck of an athlete, being recruited more as an athlete, DB, as opposed to a quarterback. But he's off to a really good start this year. Junior, I think this is probably his third year to start, at least 2.5 years. 556 yards this year, but 0 interceptions is what stood out to me. How's he progressed?
Really, this year is basically Juwan's third year as a starter for us. Was thrown into it basically his freshman year after the first series against the defending 5A state champions in Acadiana, and you just saw the poise he needed. You saw that the game wasn't too big for him. He didn't flinch. And he's continued to grow mentally. He's grown as a leader, and really and truly all of the physical gifts that God has blessed him with are incredible, but it's his work ethic, it's his competitive nature, it's his leadership, all of those intangible things that really make him a special kid to work with. And so just kind of seeing him understand and have a greater understanding of not only what to do offensively, but also why we're doing it, and having some input and having, certain things that he likes in his own voice. And, obviously his play has been great, but it's the growth in all of those other areas that I'm really most impressed with.
One of the strengths of your team is your defensive line, from what I'm told. Melvin Hill leads that group. He's a junior. And another thing you do that you don't see a lot in high school, you play a lot of cover zero. Talk about that.
Well, we're primarily we like to play press. We like to challenge everything, basically. And when you turn the film on, we're walked up on guys, and we want to restrict all of the easy access throws, and we want to challenge everything. And really, when the ball gets completed on us, we want to have to tell the quarterback good throw and the wide receiver good catch. And so that's just kind of our philosophy, and wanting to be physical and be hands-on and have that mentality. And really and truly, that's just kind of the way that the attitude that we've established defensively, and those are the things that we preach each and every day, and those are the positions that our kids are really comfortable in playing.
It's almost like you don't give them time to not be aggressive. For every second, they can't say, well, Coach, you're like, we're aggressive from start to finish, and you have a lot of success doing it, and we appreciate your time tonight, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
There you go. It's head coach Trev Falk from Lafayette Christian joining us on that Cardinal Financial Hotline.
Yeah, let's stay in that New Orleans Northshore area. Again, LCA with a big win, 28-25 over Jesuit. Dutchtown with the big win over Covington. Todd mentioned earlier Hahnville over Northshore. Northshore coming in, Todd, 2-0 with a win over Dutchtown and Salmon, and dominated those games. Looked like they were ready to take that step, and then Coach Daniel Lequette loses to Newman week 1. Didn't look good. They were also coming off of having their quarterback injured in the Jamboree for the year, so he seems to have turned the tide. They got a tough one next week against Destrehan.
I'm kind of thinking, Jimmy, I didn't give Newman enough credit at the beginning, thinking that, they've got who they've got, but they're still playing a 5A school. But, the way Hahnville's rebounded, it makes me kind of believe, and what Newman did tonight makes me believe that Newman's better than
than you anticipated.
They're usually good at that level, but it seems like they're good at other levels this year, different divisions.
That young man that I can't think of his name, but he's also a Texas committed, the defensive side.
Will Randall. He's a tight end defensive end. But Newman down to Benton tonight, another 5A team, down 34-12 at half. They come back and win 54-52. Arch Manning goes 22 for 38, 317 yards and 5 touchdowns, also 35-yard rushing touchdown. Slidell Central scored, Todd, really surprised me, 48-0. Slidell winner. I really thought Central had a chance, had a favorable schedule, non-district, to go 5-0. Here they are sitting 1-2. I'm not surprised that Slidell won because they've played pretty well. Beat Bogalusa, lost to Jesuit in overtime, but the score, the margin of victory is what really surprises me.
Me too. I know next week they have East Jefferson at home, and I thought it'd be a little bit closer too. I didn't know really going into that game. I didn't study it, but I just didn't see that coming.
I didn't study it much, but when you see a score like that, I ask you, I wonder if they had some kids hurt. They sat out tonight for one reason or another. I don't know, but the score shocked me. And then De La Salle off to a 3-0 start with a big win over St. Paul's tonight, 16-14. P.J. Martin's been really good, averaging about 230 yards, a night, and I'm sure he had another good night.
So De La Salle, after a couple of years ago when Coach Manali left, I think I was like, all right, well, let's see where they go. Well, they competed last year, and it seems like that they're back at a really good level because St. Paul's
is good.
Yep, they are good, and for De La Salle to get that win is big.
And another thing, you go back to last week's game with De La Salle playing Holy Cross. They beat Holy Cross 28-22. They were down 22-0 at half in that game and come back and score 28 unanswered points. So that was a big win for Coach Graham Jarrett down there at De La Salle.
We'll take a timeout, and we'll be right back with more scores and more conversation about Week 3 in the prep football season. This is the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, YouTube, and your view.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, As I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back to the Week 3 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. A reminder that we are outfitted by BSN Sports. They're the best supply network in sports, whether it's the gear you need for your team, your coaches, or your staff, or the equipment you need. They've got the name brands that you know and love, and they're right here in town and can help you get set for whatever season you're in, whatever sport you're playing or coaching. They can take care of you. They outfit us. They can operate and outfit pretty much anybody. BSN Sports.
And they do a great job because it takes a lot to make us look good, right?
Beautiful shirts each and every season. The staff gets to rock, and we appreciate Scott and the crew over at BSN Sports. Let's go ahead and jump on the phone lines. It's been a while since we had a chance to catch up with the head coach of Homer. They get a big win tonight in North Louisiana over General Trask. Coach Richie Casey joins the show. Coach, congratulations on the win. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
I appreciate it, guys.
Coach, I didn't know if you could hear us. Tell us a little bit about the game. This was a big game. You guys had to travel over to Lake Providence, I believe, and then you came out with a really convincing win.
That's what we did. It was a good game for our guys. I thought General Trask, they came out and played hard. They jumped up on the 2 scores. And but I'm proud of the way our guys fought. They just kept playing and executing the game plan, and we came out with the win. So,
Coach Casey, how many guys are you returning from your state championship team?
We only lost 5 guys from that team.
So 17.
Yes, sir. We returned a lot.
So how does that help you in a game like tonight, falling down 2 scores?
It helped us out big time, man. We had a great group of seniors, who didn't panic. When we got down, they just kept playing and saying that, they was just picking each other up and kept saying that we're going to get it, we're going to get it. So all we got to do is execute. And got a great group of seniors, man. They got to play hard for them.
Coach, what's been your message to your team to, obviously your goal will be to repeat this year. What's been the message to your team coming from last year to keep their mind focused that last year's not going to get you anything this year?
Right. I've been telling you, just stay focused and get better every week. We can't look at last year and judge our team off of last year. We got to watch film and break film down and get better each week. And that's what I think we've been doing, just getting better every week, figuring out our mistakes and correcting them.
I really liked your schedule on week 1. I thought that, playing Union Parish, it's a tough physical team right off the bat. And if your team was ever having a hangover from last year, you were making sure it wasn't going to last long, right, Coach?
Exactly. Union is a physical team. You got to come out the gate ready. So you can't be thinking about last year going up against a Trey Holly and a physical team like that. So they let us know off the bat, what we need to do to be better, to be a good team this year.
Coach, obviously down here in Baton Rouge, we don't get to read a whole lot about Homer, so tell us about some of your key players.
Well, one of our key players, Elijah Carey, who I think is one of the better backs in the state, kind of been overlooked right now, but as the year goes on, I think people start hearing more about him. We have Brendan Harris, who is our linebacker, who already has a couple of offers. He's about 6 feet, 215 pounds. He's just a stud for us. We have a bunch of guys. Walter, Cameron Wilson, who plays, both of those guys play defensive end and offensive line for us, man. They're some great players and great teams for us. Deron down there, that cornerback. We have good players all over the field, I think. I can just keep naming.
Well, Coach, it's always great to catch up with you and see how the season is going for your football team with a great win tonight over General Trask, 49-24. Homer getting that win. Enjoy that win, and best of luck as you guys continue in the 2022 season.
Yeah, thank you, man, and I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Thank you, Coach Casey.
So going from Lake Providence to Homer, I wouldn't think there's many cell towers. Maybe
wouldn't
one or
either.
two in Monroe.
If you're lucky.
I wonder if he went through Transylvania.
Ooh, spooky this time of year. But staying in North Louisiana, a game that Jimmy was bringing up a second ago was Oak Grove, that 52-20 win over Sterlington.
That would surprise me. And look, Oak Grove lost last week to
Ouachita Christian.
Ouachita Christian had several guys out there. They lost their running back, they lost a receiver, they lost a defensive back, but yet found a way to beat Oak Grove. So I'm thinking, okay, Oak Grove's down a little bit, and then here they coming back and beat a very good Sterlington team and beat them. I think they said it's the worst loss in 60 meetings. I think they've been playing 60 years, 52-20.
Ryan Gregory really does a good job.
Absolutely.
Up there at Oak Grove.
Absolutely. Union Parish, Captain Shreve tonight. Captain Shreve with a 31-21 win. Trey Holly, we're going to keep a watch on him. 333 yards going in on the year, going into the night. 542 yards shy of Nick Brissett's state record all-time rushing.
So Union started off with Homer with a win. They also then played, I believe, Airline it was, with the win.
Correct.
And now, they played Captain Shreve, who I think is a really good team this year. So,
10-2 last year, coming back with, 6 on offense and 5 on defense.
How many carries is Holly getting a game? I
don't know how many.
60-something snaps, probably 59.
I can tell you his wear and tear is going to be a lot. Another big win for Manny. I don't think anybody in that classification can play with him. Beat a 2-0 Halton team tonight.
Bring on the Manning.
The one thing he's done too is I think he's picked up his scheduling too, because Benton, is not supposed to be, or Sam Houston not supposed to be.
Sam Houston, and then who did they play last week? DeRitter. DeRitter's 50-7 win. Manny won, but they got Newman next week. See a little bit more. I don't know if Newman can play with them, but we're going to find out. West Monroe playing Republic out of Tennessee. I haven't seen a score on that. Republic was 0-3 on the year. Ouachita goes down to Conway, Arkansas, 63-20. That one's a tough one. Cardell Sermons, phenomenal game last week against Neville. He's doing it all. I mean, he put on a show. Had 24 carries, 262 yards last week, 4 touchdowns. He breaks up 2 passes. Has an interception to seal the game, 82 yards in kick return. He's got 484 yards, 8 touchdowns in the first 2 games. So he's having a heck of a year. Neville Todd rebounds against Huntington. I still don't know what to think of Neville. Lose one with 8-0 in the Mud Bowl.
I know they're pissed about being in 5A.
And then they lost to Ouachita. Well, they can get over it.
Yep.
And then a win over Huntington. Ruston hosts Cabot, Arkansas, 17-14 win for Ruston. Kicks a game-winning field goal as time expires.
I want to give a shout-out to David Clinton, who helps us a lot with scores down in the Houma area. And then also I got an update from Coach Moore, Darren Moore. He was listening, and he's at Slidell. He's got a great defense. They had 3 defensive touchdowns tonight, 2 pick-sixes, and a fumble versus Central, and they also had 1 punt return for a touchdown. Offense played well, missed 2 field goals and a couple PATs, but defense held Central to 23 yards at half and 64 yards against our starters. So a total of 134 yards. So Slidell's defense played well, and it sounds like it was a combination of both. Slidell played well and Central did.
I think that seems to be the theme going on right now with Central then, because I think they threw a couple interceptions. Last week they were junior Tyler Fortney is replacing the 3-year starter Jonathan Swift, but they had several turnovers last week also. So a couple key things. We talked about Zachary and St. Charles win streak being snapped tonight. Central Lafourche had a long losing streak, broke that against South Lafourche, and North Central snaps a 29-game losing streak with a 54-6 win over Thrive.
Well, let me go ahead and add one more. Bluff Middle won yesterday, snapping a 32-game losing streak. They've never won. This is a new school. So they played at 6th, the 7th, and now it's at 8th grade. They won over Lake yesterday. So they broke a streak, too.
There you go.
Hey, you're going to keep breaking them, you know.
That's
Broadmoor
right.
did it last week, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm glad you reminded me. But, you know, when you have young quarterbacks, and we'll go real quick, Jimmy, and everybody's running this spread system, they're making these quarterbacks who don't have the experience make decisions almost on every play, whether it's a read on a run, a throw. And sometimes I think when they're young, you, as Coach Valerie said, sometimes you got to do things that fit your personnel.
Absolutely.
And I think that these guys are being I'm not saying you should coddle them, but I'm thinking that you have to let them crawl before they start sprinting. And I think a lot of times these quarterbacks, I mentioned that because Central and Hutch Gonzalez knows more than I, but I just think that
Hutch is a good coach.
You're very good. But I think sometimes that, you know, we get impatient and we want to do things that we're not capable of doing, and it ends up backfiring on us sometimes.
More scores and more coaches and more breakdowns coming up as we continue. This is the Week 3 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube page on your view and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. The Capital City Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Catholic High defeats U High 31-21. Destrehan all over East Ascension 42-2. St. Aug 24, Zachary 20. Woodlawn to Baton Rouge 40, George Washington Carver 14. Episcopal defeats Country Day 49-20. Ascension Catholic 23, Archbishop Hannon 19. Catholic Point Capee 54, Independence 12. Scotlandville 37, Madison Prep 6.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Southside over Karen Crow 49-23. Avoyelles 50, Eunice 28. Leesville tops Iowa 30-14. Grand Lake all over Pickering 66-33. St. Thomas More 30, Brother Martin 16. Turley's Catholic 28, St. Charles Catholic 22. Notre Dame 34, Oviecomo 14. And Opelousas shuts out Lake Charles College Prep 21-0.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Warren Easton and Edna Carr will be tomorrow night. Live Oak 41, Bonneville 7. Newman and a high score 54-52 over Benton. Hammond 38, South Terrebonne 35. Archbishop Rommel 31, Archbishop Shaw 12. Berwick all over Franklin 40-22. McDonald 35 shuts out McMain 47-0. And Centerville and Thomas Jefferson tomorrow morning.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Westgate over Evangel 37-21. Neville 49, Huntington 12. Oak Grove 52, Sterlington 20. Captain Shreve 31, Union Parish 21. Homer 49, General Trask 24. Manny a 35-3 winner over Houghton. St. Frederick 26, Gina 20. Northwood Shreveport 35, Airline 28.
The North Shore Scoreboard, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Amy all over St. Helena 27-6. Dutchtown 35-14 winner over Covington. Pineville 17, North Shore 10. Solomon 22, Bogalusa 14. Pine over Pearl River 28-21. Slidell blank Central 48-0. Fontainebleau 23, Franklinton 6. Ponchatoula 23, St. Thomas Aquinas 8.
Thanks so much to Skip gathering scores for us tonight. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter to get more finals. It's at Louisiana Prep, And if you're watching us on the YouTube channel, 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, or on your view, you can find that scrolling ticker at the bottom of the screen for a complete scoreboard of finals throughout the night. And I'll bring your attention to the back screen as proof that, boy, it was indeed a packed house over at Memorial tonight for U High and Catholic High. The Catholic High section the student section really showed up tonight, and it was pretty full for U High supporting the other side. Great atmosphere for high school football.
Great tailgating also.
That's as many students as I've ever, I think, seen at a high school game. I think that's awesome.
And I do too. And Memorial Stadium makes it look small. But that's a huge crowd. But
You had their share there too. They just don't have the student body that Catholic has.
And we talked about the U-High Catholic game. The big one though tonight, St. Aug comes to Baton Rouge, wins 24-20 over Zachary, snaps the 17-game win streak. And understand, look, St. Aug's playing with their backup quarterback. Their starter got injured over in that Nike Classic in what was a week 0 type of game against DeSoto, Texas. So Amari Cooper's been coming on ever since then. He's 17 for 25 in his 2
Amari
games.
Cooper?
Mm-hmm.
For real?
Yeah.
Huh.
7 touchdowns, no interceptions. Zachary jumped out 10-0, led 17-3, then 17-10. St. Aug back in it now, 17-17.
Another return from our student athlete of the week.
Yeah. But a key in this game was Eli Holstein went out 2 different times. I'm hearing, don't want to make anything official, hearing some type of shoulder injury. He went out, came back in, went back out, ended up 24-20. St. Aug won, scored with 5:48 left. And Zachary,
was their running back?
Zachary's running back was back tonight. They dropped a pass in the end zone late in the game. I don't know if it's the last play or not that had a chance to win it, but I know this will come. Zachary's open next week. Couldn't get a game. I think it's next week. And I think that'll be a good time for Eli to heal up.
I know who's open. West Side.
West Side's open now?
Always looking for
Manny was open, but they wouldn't play him.
Hey, Nick.
One of the weeks.
Nick Foster, give him and his coaching staff credit too.
Yes.
Yes. I like Coach Foster.
They're 3-0 now.
Job. Yep.
3-0. So Destran EA, we talked about that. Another big win in Baton Rouge with Scotlandville. 0-2 coming into the night.
Was it Carr last week?
Playing Madison Prep. Yeah, Carr beat them 46-8, but 23-0 at half. Scotlandville was up 37-6 final win. That's Ryan Cook's first win as a Scotlandville head coach, and he was also the defensive coordinator last year at Scotlandville, so that's a good win for those guys.
Levante Davis, I think, made was this his first win? No. Second. He was 2-1.
Yeah. Denham Springs 31-0 win over Liberty. Another local kid we haven't even mentioned this year's Plaquemine. They won 55-0 tonight over Terre, but their quarterback Michael Mitchell's leading the area in passing. He's coming into tonight 31 for 52, 529 yards. He's rushed for over 236 yards and also second in the area in punting. So he's having a fantastic year for Plaquemine.
You talk about I liked what you right here. The guy from John Ehret last night.
Booker T. Washington, running back. Arnold Barnes had 21 carries, 365 yards, 6 touchdowns in their win over Ehret. He now has 54 carries on the year, 705 yards and 8 touchdowns through 3 games. Wayne Reese is the head coach of Booker T. Washington. They lost their first 2 games by 1 point. Lost to Santa Ma and then Salmon. Here's another thing. Another fight at the end of the game. We're hearing this every single week now. It's going to have to stop at some point. The LHSAA is going to have to make look at their rules, make some changes if they need to or whatever, but until they start suffering some serious consequences, whether you're making teams forfeit or kicking kids off of the program or whatever. I'm all about second chances. I get that. Some of them are going to make mistakes, but this is getting totally out of hand. It's every week.
And they've been sent a letter, so the principals have. If you remember Booker T. Washington last year, they were good. They were like 8-2. And then week 10, they had some grade entered the wrong way. And then I think they fell to like 2-7. But they had last week against Santa Ma. So their defensive lineman and Santa Ma's offensive lineman were getting into it. The defensive lineman was grabbing the Santa Ma lineman's helmet and threw it off of him. And the Santa Ma kid just pushed him, and they threw them both out.
Good.
And I'd see if you say it, the kid from Santa Ma shouldn't have been thrown out because if I pulled your face mask off, you better not swing at me.
Do we have time to go over to Acadiana, or we want to take a break?
Yeah, we can look at Acadiana real quick.
Acadiana real quick. Brother Martin loses to St. Thomas More, 2 undefeated teams. St. Thomas More is just reloading. They beat Alexandria 42-35, averaging 51.5 coming in. They had 496 yards against Ash, playing 2 quarterbacks. They haven't missed Walker Howard at all. Now, these guys got some experience last year when Howard went down with his injury, but Sam Altman and Will Taylor done a good job. They'll come to Baton Rouge next week.
Catholic Point could be with a win tonight to go 3-0 themselves.
St. Charles drops theirs. We mentioned that to Turlings. Turlings was an interesting story last week against the Vols. They threw 4 passes in the game. 4 of them went for touchdowns. Kentrell Prejean had 4 catches, 188 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
We were all collectively surprised by this Opelousas score.
Yes, Opelousas over Lake Charles College Prep 21-0. We've double checked it, and everything that we can check is showing the same thing. Lafayette with a big win tonight over Sulphur, going to 3-0. Coach Figueroa over there, they've been averaging 55 points in their first 2 games. They put up 42 tonight. Grayson Saunier, their quarterback, is at least his second or third year. He's done a good job. And then the big upset to me was Southside over Cairn Crow, 49-23. Didn't just beat them; they beat them convincingly.
Ben Love jinxed him last week when he said he had to rethink things about the Bears, but they're still good. It's just a tough schedule that they have. Maybe after next break, we can talk a little bit about some things going on at the LHSAA and some schools that are upset.
Imagine that.
Okay.
At this time of year. We'll do that as we wind down a Week 3 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. But as we head to break, before tonight's ball game, we were fed, and we were fed well. I'm talking about chicken, baked beans, various amounts of pork, ribs.
Pork.
Oh, man. The U Crew is what it said on the aprons of the team, but in full support. What a great group out there tailgating for U High. They're sending us to break here in this Week 3 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience.
Care. Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Come on now.
You mean he talked to you?
Welcome back to a week 3 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show.
We're just talking about Jimmy's son.
Todd Black, Jimmy Roy. Jimmy's been busy this week, chopping wood all week. I wish I had a photo to share with the audience, but the man has been very busy.
Have been. Me and my neighbor old Harold Oglesby over there split. Oh, I don't even know how many cars of wood we split this week.
Are you selling any?
No. Okay. They couldn't afford that wood. It cost too much as I paid. Much hard work that we did.
How much you hydrate during that?
You got to stay hydrated if you're doing that. So there was a lot of differing opinions this summer when it came to the definition of what is select, what is not select. And there's apparently have been also varying opinions on what the LHSAA can and cannot do. Responsibilities of the LHSAA and their executive committee. We can pull up this graphic, are pretty specific as far as what they're allowed to do. Now, if I'm not mistaken, these members of the executive committee, these are elected by principals?
Correct.
And this is a principals organization.
Yes. That's what they say when it's convenient. Mm-hmm. And so, the executive committee has the ability, when they see things that aren't fair, aren't going right, just to correct it. Correct something that's not in the best interest of the kids. If you want to read this, you can, but that basically is what it says, and they quote 4.4.4. Here's the thing. You got teams like Northwood, Shreveport, Tioga, and they're in open enrollment parishes. They have advantages over other public schools, plain and simple. So if they're not select, they're not public. So where do they fall? And so what they're trying to say is they don't have an advantage over other public schools, even though they can pull from their whole parish and others only pull from their traditional attendance zone. The split was a great idea when it didn't affect these schools. It was fair and equitable. But now that it affects them, they don't want any part of it. And that's the biggest problem I have and have had since 2013 is they knew this whole thing was BS and they knew they were screwing them over and they did it anyway. But now the shoe's on the other foot and they're trying to cry wolf or whatever you call that.
Todd, didn't these schools, I know an article came out in the Shreveport Times this week where I think Anacoco maybe and Northwood are trying to start something up to where they have another meeting saying they didn't have a voice in it. Well, if I'm not mistaken, their superintendents had the opportunity to speak on their behalf. And then also, I'm sure the way it's set up, they had the opportunity as a principal to call their representatives on the executive committee before these meetings ever took place. Why are they waiting until after they've taken place? Do you know the answer?
Because they don't want to be accountable. And let me remind you, too, the LHSAA is in this position because of something that they went outside the bounds of the LHSAA Constitution in 2013 to pass. It shouldn't have been done anyway, but they went around the governing documents to get this split passed, and now it's coming back, and it's kind of, hey, karma. It's come back to get you. the people in the northwest part of the state, central and the northwest, there are 22 parishes that have voted 291 to 11 in 4 votes. They're against coming back together.
Mm-hmm.
So it don't matter what the proposal is, they're voting against it. They don't have any, and this is one of the reasons you've got to be able to work with different options. Public schools weren't. And you've got a lot of them upset, but they'll never be as upset as the 109 select schools that were shoved over in 2013. I had somebody say, well, what about the the enrollment disparity? People don't realize in 2013 there were only 2 divisions select. The top division was Jesuit. Top enrollment was 2,300. It went all the way down to Miller-McCoy at 375 students, almost a 2,000 student disparity. And they want me to have sympathy for them now. I can't roll that way. It's just, shoe wears both, shoe should fit both feet. If you want to do it one way, do it the other,
Todd, have you heard any feedback on the number of teams on the bracket as far as the 28 and 24? Have you heard people are for that or against it?
Well,
coaches wise,
I haven't heard much, but I'll tell you the one thing that the LHSAA has done, because there's fewer teams, the payment at the end of the playoffs is bigger, right? So they don't have to divide it as much.
Right.
And so, somebody said something about why was Bonine doing this? And I'll tell you, and we all know, he has no agenda. His agenda is the student athletes. If it was about money, he'd have kept it split. If it was about any other thing, he just wants what's best with the student athletes. If he can't get it back together, and that's it's the only way it should be. You either take kids from outside your zone or you don't.
If you're blaming Bonine on it, then you're starting on the wrong foot to begin with, because all he's doing is enforcing the Constitution. Right?
But people do because they don't know the inner works and how the LHSAA works. So he's taking some unfair criticism, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
I've seen today where some people are complaining about the different numbers for baseball and basketball and football, and it's starting. You're not going to please everybody, but overall, I think this is a lot better of a situation than it was for the last several years.
I think the playoffs are going to be great.
I do too.
I just think they're more balanced. They're not as lopsided as they've been in the past.
For sure.
And you bring integrity back to the association, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
And we got a couple games inside the Superdome from Thursday through Saturday, which is a good thing.
All in one place.
So, yeah. All right, that's going to wrap up the Week 3 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Thanks so much to Coach Todd Black, Coach Jimmy Roy, Ryan Kennedy, Taylor Sharp, and Skip Cottrell. We will see you next Friday night.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments.